also do it in your butt, but I think most people take it in their mouth. What's up YouTube, it's Alyse here, and today I am going to be sharing with you my personal choice, my personal form of birth control. I am so eager and excited to bring this information to you today. This video has been a long time coming. I've been planning this for a while and I have a huge page of notes here with you today. But I want to let you know that although I'm sharing so much information with you today, this video alone does not contain all of the information that you need in order to jump right in and use the birth control method that I use without further research. So I'm gonna share a lot of links down in the description of this video. Be sure to check them out after the video is over if you are interested in learning more information and perhaps taking this method and applying it to your own life. I also wanna let you know that I've been having crazy allergies. I don't know exactly what I'm allergic to, but my nose has been fairly congested, so hopefully that doesn't become a problem during this video. Also, these new t-shirts, Spread the Love. This one is the 3/4 sleeve. I have it tied up like a crop top. They are going to be released tomorrow, February 5th at midnight Central Time. So figure out what time that is for you in the world and head on over to rawalignment.com. You will see all of the new styles of shirts. This is not the only one, and they will be available, like I said, at midnight Central Time, February 5th. I'm so excited. These shirts will be on sale for 10% off for the first 24 hours. So if you're interested in getting one, be sure to get it within the first day. Okay, that's it. Jumping right into the video. This method of birth control that I'm sharing with you today is for preventing pregnancy, not for preventing STDs. I use this method knowing that I have one partner, one sex partner, who does not have STDs. Be sure to use protection. Okay, so here's my story. I was on the birth control pill for at least 4 years, and I have been off of it now for almost 2 years. I originally started taking the pill not only to prevent myself from having a baby or getting pregnant, but mainly to get rid of the insane menstrual cramps that I had. I had these awful cramps. I'm sure many of you can relate to this, where I was just like curled up in fetal position trying to find a comfortable position to get into. I was nauseous, I was lightheaded, I was pale in the face. Any sort of pain meds like Advil or ibuprofen that I tried to take, I would throw up. I just couldn't keep anything down. It was awful, and I basically felt like I was dying for the first 3 hours of the first day of my period every single month. So that was the main reason why I first started taking the pill, because I was told that taking the pill would regulate that and I wouldn't have as bad of cramps. Prior to taking the pill for the first time, I was never really taught exactly what it was and exactly what it caused to happen in my body. I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't educate myself. I was young, like 16 years old or something, and I just didn't think, and nobody else said to me like, hey, let's talk about what this is. So I was pretty clueless when I started taking it up until like a couple months before I stopped taking it. So to keep it super short, the pill, the birth control pill, messes with your natural hormones. And I'm not gonna go into crazy detail, but I am gonna link something down below that describes the process in much more detail. So some of the side effects that people experience when they start taking the pill is crazy mood swings, acne, weight gain, nausea, headaches, and a variety of other things. Now, I think it's also important to note that a lot of people will start taking the pill to regulate things like this. A lot of people get on the pill to get rid of their acne, to get rid of their crazy cramps like I had, perhaps to get rid of some sort of mood swings that they're having. So it's not like the pill brings on all of these awful things but doesn't provide you with anything beneficial. So I think that's just important to note. I'm gonna talk later in this video about how I managed to completely get rid of my insanely horrible menstrual cramps after I got off of the pill. Okay, so what is my form of birth control? What do I use now that I've been off the pill for 2 years? What is it? Well, for me, it all began when I found out about the book called Taking Charge of Your Fertility. I'm gonna link that down below. It's a huge, huge book. It's like that big, pretty thick. And it's actually at my parents' house right now. I don't have it here because I really dove into it and learned as much as I could and absorbed the information that I needed, and I didn't bring it out here to Hawaii with me. But it is an incredible book. It goes into so much detail on this method. So in the book, Taking Charge of Your Fertility, there are a couple of different tracking methods that I've learned about. One of them is tracking your temperature every single morning when you wake up, just taking your temperature in your mouth. You can also do it in your butt, but I think most people take it in their mouth. Another tracking method is to check your cervical fluid. So basically how you do that is you take a finger or 2 fingers and you stick them up into your vagina and you see what your cervical fluid is like that day. Basically, the fluid inside of you ranges from being thick, being thin, there not being very much of it to being a lot of it during some times in the month. And this really ranges throughout your entire menstrual cycle. But as you go from month to month to month, there are patterns in this fluid, and you can start to know your body and know what your fluid is like when you are fertile, when you're not fertile, when you're ovulating, getting close to ovulation. And it's honestly really cool to figure out what's going on with your body. The third tracking technique is to check into the level of your cervix, so the depth of your cervix basically, and you can do that as well by reaching into your vagina and feeling how deep your cervix is. The book goes into much more detail. I'm not going to really describe all of these very much, but those are the 3 methods described in the book. Tracking all of these things really creates a healthy habit in your life and allows you to know exactly what is going on inside of your body. When I was taking the pill, like I said before, I had no idea what was going on inside of my body, what was happening with the hormones, when I was ovulating, what ovulation even was. And by tracking these things, it really allows you to become empowered. Like, I feel empowered knowing what is going on inside of my body and knowing that it's in my hands and I'm not just trusting this pill to keep myself from getting pregnant. It's actually in my hands to get pregnant or not get pregnant. Okay, so there are 2 ways that you can track all of this information. Those 3 tracking methods are things that you'll need to be tuning into on a daily basis, although the book does say that you can choose 2 out of the 3. So the first way to track is by tracking with pencil and paper. This is the way that I first started out, and there are quite a few benefits to doing this. One benefit is that it's really easy to understand what's going on because it's just laid out in front of you, like from day to day to day. Each sheet is a full month. You can just lay out one piece of paper next to another and just see what your cycle is like over the course of a few weeks and a few months. I think that's really great when first getting into it. Another benefit is that it's free. All you have to do is go online and find a tracking chart, and I'm actually going to link one down in the description below that you can take a peek at. Okay, so a second way to track all this information is by using a device. This little guy that I use is called the Daisy. It's super cute. It's actually like the size of my hand and I have really tiny hands. Basically what this is a thermometer. So I wake up and approximately at the same time every morning, I stick it under my tongue, I take my temperature. There are a couple of benefits for me to using a device. First of all, it's just super quick and easy. I don't have to get a pen and paper or pencil and paper out. I just bring out this little device. It's always on my nightstand, and as soon as I wake up, I do that. It's really easy. I think it's also easier and like a more minimal way of doing it long term because you don't have to save like all of these pages of paper if you were using the paper method. Everything is tracked and stored in this little device. You can also connect it to a mobile device. So you can get an app on your phone called Daisy View, and you can go in there and see what your temperature is every single day. So there's this little cord that you plug in to the end of the Daisy and you plug it into your phone, and then it syncs all of your information. So this little tiny device might be a little scary at first if you've never heard of it. You might not know like how effective it really is. It's actually 99.3% effective, and it has a proven track record of over 28 years, which is a long freaking time. I believe I have it written down, the birth control pills are between 91 and 99% effective, and this little guy is 99.3, which is really, really effective. So I completely trust it, and I want to share with you how exactly it works. So you take your temperature every morning, and this little part lights up. If it is getting to know your cycle, which takes a couple of cycles, I think for me it was approximately 3 cycles, which means 3 months to learn what's going on in my body, it will show up yellow if it's not sure if you're fertile or infertile. So when the daisy turns green, that means I'm infertile, which means that I can have sex on those days, and that's the majority of days in the month. The daisy shows a red light when you are fertile or ovulating. So that's usually around 6 days each month. So if you were to use the daisy and you got a red light, you would know that you're gonna either use protection or completely abstain from sex during those days. So that's my natural form of birth control that I use. I definitely want to mention one more time that everything I shared with you today is not gonna cut it. If you're interested in this method, definitely do your own research. Check out the links I shared in the description below. The daisy, for anyone who's interested, is around $350, which is a decent amount of money, but for me it's really worth it to have the peace of mind that I know I'm not going to get pregnant. Also remember that there is another way to track your cycle. You can track by pen and paper if you want to. Again, I think that's a really great way to understand what's going on in your body. It's the way that I started out before I got this cute little device, and I recommend it. I totally am an advocate for natural birth control. Oh yeah, I did want to share with you how I got rid of my crazy bad cramps. I know this video is long, but if you're interested, definitely stick with me. So I had those crazy, unbelievable menstrual cramps, like headache, nausea, all of this crazy stuff. And as time went on, as I continued to change my diet and live a healthier lifestyle and consume more alkaline foods, less processed food, I cut out meat, I cut out dairy and eggs and seafood, and I eat all plant foods now, and I very, very rarely eat processed food. And actually, when I do go back and eat processed food a couple of times each month or each week or something, I can tell because the following menstrual cycle that I have, the cramps come back. Not to the same extent that they used to, because obviously my diet has improved so much, so drastically. But what I've learned is it's very easy to turn on and turn off those cramps, and it might take time. Like, I still believe that my body is regulating the hormones since getting off of the birth control. I know a lot of people say like the same amount of time that you're on it, it takes that amount of time afterwards to re-regulate your hormones and balance everything else. So you might get acne after you get off the pill. You might have crazy cramps after you get off. I had crazy cramps again for the first 2 months I got off of the pill, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, like I'm eating so healthy. I figured that would make an impact, and I just had to wait it out and keep doing what I knew was right, which was to stay with low stress levels, get enough sleep, hydrate my body, eat a very healthy alkaline diet, high in fresh foods and whole foods, just take care of myself in every way possible. And as time has gone on, I have gotten rid of those crazy cramps. And like I said, I feel like I can turn on the crazy cramps or turn them off based on the things that I eat. So I encourage you to do more research if you're interested in getting off of the birth control pill, or perhaps just starting this method out. I'm gonna link everything down in the description below, including the little daisy. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a little thumbs up and share it with anyone who you think can benefit from hearing this information, hearing about my birth control method. Thank you so much for taking the time to stay until the end of this video. I appreciate you being here with me and expanding your knowledge on something new. Remember, if you do want to get a Spread the Love shirt, they will be available tomorrow, February 5th. At midnight Central Time. There is a coupon code down in the description for 10% off. If you do end up getting a shirt, be sure to take a photo of yourself in it when it arrives, post it on Instagram, and tag Raw Alignment Apparel, and I will feature you on that Instagram page. All right, I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.